Hey, everybody, welcome to A Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. It is a big day for America because after years of agonizing wait, finally, J-Lo and Ben Affleck are back together. Nature is healing. At last, someone can make my movie Batman versus Gigli. This time, nobody wins. Oh, another thing happened yesterday. We learned that the prosecutor in the former president's criminal probe has convened a grand jury. Booyah! Grand jury. Cable news, tell us why the grand jury was impaneled.
There's a lot we know and don't know.
Thanks for that analysis, Jim. Dana Bash, can you be a little more specific?
We don't know so many things. We don't know most things.
But we do have some evidence that a crime was committed, right, Daniel Goldman?
There is some evidence that a crime was committed.
Awesome. By whom?
We don't know who by whom.
Okay, no biggie. Go on.
We don't know what the crime is.
So we don't know who or what or why. Looks like a case for the CBS classic. Maybe something happened, she conjectured. But clearly, we know who they're going after, right, Willie Geist?
We don't know who the target is. We don't know if there are alleged crimes against Donald Trump.
Okay, but what about the kids? They ran the business. Surely they're investigating them.
The basic answer regarding Trump's grown children is we don't know.
Oh, for pickle sake! Is there anything we do know?
There's the old line about how, a grand jury would indict a ham sandwich. Is Donald Trump a ham sandwich? I don't know.
Damn it! I'll settle this right now. Talk, you bastard! Spill the beans! Oh, all you understand is the rough stuff, huh? Come on! You like that? You like that? Guilty. Okay. Was anybody like something? It's plenty. All right. I think that was ham, cheese, and gravel. Okay, can anyone out there make any definitive statement about what we know?
I don't know much, but I know I love you.
Thank you, Aaron Neville. Not helpful, but I love you too. Well, I guess one thing we do know is that there's not enough news to fill 24-hour news. All lack of facts aside, insiders have said that investigators are looking into whether the stated value of properties owned by the former president were manipulated in a way that defrauded banks and insurance companies, and if any tax benefits were obtained illegally through unscrupulous asset valuation. Well, of course they're unscrupulous. This man has never scrooped. Investigators better bring an unscrooper scooper to find out whether he committed a bank and or tax fraud. Rumor has it the investigation has put pressure on his organization's CFO and man who sold his likeness to makers of cardboard pizza boxes, Alan Weisselberg. Weisselberg has recently become the subject of a criminal tax investigation, and that has led to speculation that he will flip on the former president. And this guy has the receipts. Weisselberg is the company's highest-ranking corporate officer who is not a member of the former president's family. As always, the highest member of the family is Don Jr. Weisselberg has worked for the family since the 70s, but that's news to fellow employee Ivanka. In a recent deposition, she was asked about Weisselberg and said this about a man she has worked with since 2005. He is I would have to see what I don't know his exact title, but he's an executive at the company. Either she's lying or she's so self-involved she can't remember anything about people she's known for years. Oh, the tall, skinny one with the haunted Ken doll eyes? He is I would have to see, I don't know his exact title, but he is the father of my children and sleeps in my bed. I want to say bedman. Weisselberg's potential betrayal is weighing heavily on former President Winnie the Pooh. According to one insider, there's definitely a cloud of nerves in the air. Oh, baby, I love to watch him sweat. My mistake. No, I don't. Now, it's no surprise the formation of this grand jury did not sit well with Clownegula. He put out a long internet post calling the investigation a witch hunt that was purely political. Not purely. It's also emotional and spiritual. Every one of my chakras wants you in jail. But how can he say it's political when he's no longer in politics? Well, according to Politico, simple. Float another run for president. Besides, as one aide put it, he's missing being president terribly. It makes sense. He did spend 4 years being president terribly.
Throw him in the slammer slam.
That explains why Tangerine Palpatine has begun crafting a policy agenda outlining a MAGA doctrine for the party. And to do that, he's teamed up with former Speaker of the House and man making his selection from the wife tank at Red Lobster, Newt Gingrich. Newt's on board because the new legislative template is said to be modeled on Gingrich's contract with America, or in the case of these two men, the prenup with America. The original contract with America is from 1994, which was Bill Clinton's first term. So this is a total throwback, which explains why the first promise of the new contract is arrest Tanya Harding. This revamped contract with America is still in its infancy, but we know it promises to address the usual GOP grievances like abolishing the 1619 Project, which, as a reminder, is a supplement of the New York Times, so not really under federal jurisdiction. It's the equivalent of running for office on the promise of abolishing Marmaduke. When will we see this perfect, beautiful policy paper? Well, Gingrich says it shouldn't be expected until closer to the midterm elections because, quote, the world keeps changing and evolving. Yes, the world is changing fast, so they will need time to choose the most up-to-date solutions from 27 years ago. Oh, speaking of numbers, it is day 127 of Biden at the presidential wheel. So far, Joe's been driving exactly like you would expect a 78-year-old, slowly with his left turn signal on the whole time. But that could all come to an end thanks to an explosive behind-the-curtains look at the Biden presidency in the Washington Post this week. Now remember, this is the journalistic powerhouse that brought down Nixon with their Watergate reporting and won a Pulitzer for how they exposed the last president's shady business deals. So what has the Democracy Dies in Darkness paper dug up on Joseph R. Biden? Biden's preferred lunch is a soup and a salad, usually a chopped salad with grilled chicken, and he is partial to orange Gatorade and Coke Zero. The Washington Post just broke the biggest story of the year. This president likes salad in what many are calling Watercress Gate. He said, not turning in time. Check out this smoking hot news nugget. Insiders claim Biden has stocked the outer Oval Office with saltwater taffy. There is nothing more old man than saltwater taffy, unless it's eating saltwater taffy while watching Matlock on his jitterbug tablet. Longtime confidant of the president revealed that Biden would carry with him not quite a lunch pail, but it's his little bag of stuff. So if he gets peckish in a meeting, he can have something healthy, often a protein bar or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Peanut butter and jelly in a lunch pail? Joe, pick a lane. Are you an old man or a little kid? Because one longtime advisor disclosed that he has the tastes of a 5-year-old, meaning it is possible he chose Pete Buttigieg as transportation secretary because he couldn't have Thomas the Tank Engine. Though honestly, same basic vibe. That's not the only scoop that the Washington Post and Scoopified. You see, during the campaign, an advisor revealed that Biden would regale aides with human interest tidbits from Apple News, like world's largest moth, and Japanese woman is 119 years old. And he's like, oh, can you believe this Japanese woman is 119 years old? Can you imagine what she's seen? The advisor said, speaking on the condition of anonymity. Oh, you have to stay anonymous when you're talking about sensitive information like that. Otherwise, you're the first person the police suspect when the world's oldest woman turns up dead. Speaking of dead people, Nobel Prize-winning author and guy who's offering to let you invest in his CBD soda, John Steinbeck. Turns out years before his most celebrated work, Steinbeck wrote a full-length mystery werewolf story entitled Murder at Full Moon. It's not surprising. Most of his works had werewolf themes. Remember this famous scene from The Grapes of Wrath?
Wherever there's a full moon, I'll be there. Wherever There's a guy walking home alone at night. I'll be there, and I'll rip him apart, 'cause I'm a werewolf!
So, where's the werewolf story been? Turns out this novel was rejected and hidden away since 1930 at the behest of the author and his estate at the University of Texas. But now a British academic is calling for the Steinbeck estate to finally allow its publication. Okay, first of all, it's quite clear that Steinbeck never wanted anyone to read this book. And second, can we please read this book? I gotta know what it's about. Is the werewolf an exploited migrant worker? Does the werewolf have a larger werewolf friend who's not all there and accidentally kills rabbits? Tell me about the werewolf, George. The British academic says the novel should be published because there would be a huge public interest in a totally unknown werewolf novel by one of the best-known, most read American writers of the 20th century. Yes, and while we're at it, let's publish all the secret monster stories by famous American authors like Louisa May Alcott's Little Mummies, Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea Monster, and Salinger's Franny and Zombie. We have a great show for you tonight. My guest is Will Arnett, but when we come back, I take you behind the scenes for a gritty reboot of The Late Show with director Zack Snyder. Stick around.